The school hallway buzzed with the usual morning chaos, students laughing, lockers slamming, and the sound of sneakers squeaking against the floor. Among the crowd walked a new kid, quiet and observant, his dark eyes taking in everything around him. He wasn't tall or broad-shouldered, nothing that would make him stand out in a fight. His plain backpack hung loosely over one shoulder, and his calm expression gave nothing away. A group of boys near the water fountain nudged each other, their smirks widening as they spotted him. These were the school's usual troublemakers, the ones who thought they ruled the halls. They had a habit of picking on anyone who seemed weak, and the new kid looked like an easy target. One of them, the ringleader, stepped forward, blocking the new kid's path. "Hey, you're in my way," he said, his voice dripping with fake annoyance. The others snickered, already anticipating the show. The new kid didn't react. He simply sidestepped, trying to move past. But the bully shifted, blocking him again. "I said you're in my way. You deaf or something?" A small crowd had started to gather. Some kids looked away, not wanting to get involved. Others watched with nervous excitement, wondering what would happen next. The new kid finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. "I don't want trouble." The bully laughed, turning to his friends. "Hear that? He doesn't want trouble." He turned back, shoving the new kid hard. Too bad. The push should have sent him stumbling back, maybe even falling. But the new kid barely moved. His feet stayed planted, his balance unshaken. His eyes, though still calm, now held a quiet intensity. The bully didn't notice. He raised his fist, ready to throw a punch. What happened next was so fast that most of the kids barely saw it. The new kid shifted slightly, his hand moving in a blur. The bully's punch never landed. Instead, his wrist was caught in a grip like iron. Before he could react, he was flipped onto his back, hitting the floor with a thud. Silence. The bully lay there, stunned, his breath knocked out of him. His friends froze, their grins vanishing. The new kid hadn't even broken a sweat. He looked down at the boy on the floor and said, "I warned you." Then he walked away, leaving the entire hallway in shock. No one had expected that. The quiet new kid wasn't just some easy target. He was something else entirely. And the bullies had just made a very big mistake. The news spread fast. By lunchtime, everyone had heard about what happened in the hallway. Whispers followed the new kid as he sat alone at a corner table, eating quietly. Some kids glanced at him with curiosity, others with newfound respect. A few even looked scared. The bullies, meanwhile, were furious. Getting humiliated in front of the whole school was something they couldn't let slide. The ringleader, still sore from the throw, clenched his fists under the table. "He got lucky," he muttered to his friends. "Next time, he won't." One of his friends, a taller boy with a mean streak, nodded. "We jump him after school. No way he can take all of us." They thought they had a plan. But they had no idea who they were dealing with. The new kid wasn't just trained in martial arts, he had spent years mastering it. His father was a retired instructor, and from the time he could walk, discipline and control had been drilled into him. Fighting wasn't something he enjoyed. But if pushed, he wouldn't back down. The final bell rang, and students poured out of the building. The new kid took his time, knowing what was coming. He wasn't afraid. He was prepared. As he turned the corner near the bike racks, they surrounded him. 5 of them, their faces twisted with anger. The ringleader stepped forward. "You think you're tough? Let's see how you handle this." The new kid dropped his bag. His stance shifted, relaxed but ready. "Last chance," he said. "Walk away." They lunged at him. What followed wasn't a fight, it was a lesson. The new kid moved like water, flowing around their attacks. Every punch they threw met empty air. Every grab was met with a twist, a lock, or a throw. One by one, they hit the ground, groaning. The last one standing, the tall friend, swung wildly. The new kid caught his arm, twisted, and, with a move so smooth it looked effortless, sent him flipping onto his back. The bullies lay scattered on the pavement, bruised and humiliated. The new kid picked up his bag and looked at them. "Don't come after me again." This time, they listened. The school buzzed with whispers all day. By the time lunch rolled around, the story had grown. Some said the new kid had taken down 3 guys in seconds. Others claimed he was some kind of secret agent. The truth was impressive enough, but rumors always made things bigger. The new kid sat alone at a corner table, eating quietly. He wasn't trying to be mysterious, he just preferred silence. But now, eyes followed him everywhere. Some kids glanced at him with curiosity, others with a little fear. A few even looked like they wanted to talk to him but didn't know how. Across the cafeteria, the bullies huddled together, their usual loudness replaced by hushed, angry voices. The ringleader, still sore from being thrown like a rag doll, rubbed his wrist and glared. "He got lucky," he muttered. "We weren't ready." His friends nodded, but their confidence was shaky. The tall one, who had been the last to fall, cracked his knuckles. "We outnumber him. Next time, we don't hold back." They didn't understand. The new kid hadn't won because of luck. He had won because he knew exactly what he was doing. After school, the new kid took his time packing his bag. He knew what was coming. Bullies didn't like losing, and they definitely didn't like looking weak in front of everyone. He wasn't scared, just annoyed. He didn't want trouble. But if they pushed him again, he wouldn't hold back. As he walked toward the bike racks, he saw them waiting. 5 this time. They had called in reinforcements. The ringleader stepped forward, smirking. "Think you're tough? Let's see how you handle us." The new kid sighed. He dropped his bag and rolled his shoulders. "You had your warning." They rushed him all at once. What happened next wasn't a fight, it was a demonstration. The first guy swung. The new kid sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, and twisted. The bully yelped as he hit the ground. The second one charged. A quick shift of weight, a sweep of the leg, thud, he was face down on the pavement. The third and fourth came together. Bad idea. A sharp block, a redirect of force, and they crashed into each other like bowling pins. The tall one, the last standing, hesitated. His fists were up, but his eyes were wide. The new kid just looked at him. "You done?" The bully swallowed hard. Then, slowly, he backed away. The others groaned on the ground, clutching bruises. The new kid picked up his bag and walked away. This time, no one followed. Word spread even faster now. By the next morning, the whole school knew, the new kid wasn't just good in a fight. He was untouchable. Some kids started treating him like a legend. A few even asked if he could teach them moves. He just shook his head. It's not about fighting. It's about control. The bullies? They avoided him completely. The ringleader stopped making eye contact. The tall one changed paths in the hallway to steer clear. But the story wasn't over. Because someone else had been watching. The gym teacher, a broad-shouldered man with a sharp gaze, had seen the whole thing from his office window. He wasn't angry. He was interested. After class, he pulled the new kid aside. "That was some impressive footwork. Where'd you learn?" The new kid hesitated. "My dad taught me." The teacher nodded. "Ever compete?" "No." "You should." The new kid shrugged. "Not here to fight." The teacher smiled. "Not all fights are in the streets. Some are in the ring. Think about it. For the first time since arriving, the new kid felt something other than annoyance. Curiosity. Meanwhile, the bullies weren't just embarrassed, they were desperate to save face. And desperate people make stupid choices. The ringleader had an idea. A bad one. If we can't take him alone, he told his friends, we make sure he can't fight back at all. They didn't know it yet, but they were about to make things much worse. The gym teacher's words stuck in the new kid's head. Some fights are in the ring. He had never thought about competing before. His training had always been about discipline, control, never about trophies or glory. But something about the idea nagged at him. That afternoon, instead of going straight home, he found himself standing outside a small martial arts gym a few blocks from school. The sign above the door read Eastside Combat Club. Through the glass, he could see people sparring, real fighters, not schoolyard brawlers. A man at the front desk looked up as he entered. "Help you?" The new kid hesitated. "Just checking it out." The man nodded toward the mats. "You trained before?" "Yeah. A little. Talk to Coach Rios. He's the guy in the black hoodie." Coach Rios was a compact, muscular man with sharp eyes that missed nothing. When the new kid approached, he didn't even look up from wrapping his hands. "You the kid from the high school?" The new kid blinked. "How'd you know?" Rios smirked. "Gym teacher's a friend of mine. Said you might stop by." He finally looked up. "You wanna fight? Or you just here to stare?" The challenge in his voice was clear. The new kid felt something stir, not anger, but interest. "I can hold my own." Rios tossed him a pair of gloves. "Prove it." 20 minutes later, the entire gym had stopped to watch. The new kid wasn't just good, he was fluid. Every block, every counter, every strike was precise, effortless. He wasn't brawling. He was performing. Rios called time and pulled off his gloves. "Who the hell taught you?" "My dad." "Your dad a pro?" "Used to be." Rios studied him for a long moment. Then he said, "You ever compete in a real tournament?" The new kid shook his head. "You will." Meanwhile, back at school, the bullies were plotting. The ringleader had a cousin, older, bigger, with a reputation for being ruthless. "He'll handle the new kid," he told his friends. "No fancy moves gonna save him this time." They didn't care about fairness. They just wanted revenge. The next day, the new kid walked into school feeling different. For the first time in weeks, he wasn't just the quiet outsider. He had a purpose. Then he turned the corner and saw him. A guy leaned against the lockers, early 20s, scar above his eyebrow, arms crossed. The way he stood screamed trouble. The bullies hovered nearby, smirking. The new kid didn't stop walking. He didn't speed up, either. The older guy stepped into his path. "You the one putting hands on my little cousin?" The new kid met his eyes. "He put hands on himself. I just helped him land." A few kids gasped. The older guy's smile vanished. "Funny. Let's see how funny you are in the parking lot after school." The new kid didn't blink. "I'll be there." Word spread like wildfire. By lunch, even teachers were whispering. The new kid versus a grown man? This wasn't just a fight, it was suicide. The gym teacher pulled him aside. "You don't have to do this." The new kid shrugged. "Yeah. I do. You won't win. That guy's got 50 pounds on you." "Doesn't matter." The teacher stared at him. "Why?" The new kid finally looked up. "Because if I don't show up, they'll never stop." After school, the parking lot was packed. Students, older kids, even a few teachers pretending not to watch. The older guy stood in the center, cracking his knuckles. The new kid walked straight up to him. No words this time. Just action. The older guy swung first, a wild, heavy punch meant to end things fast. The new kid ducked, stepped in, and struck. It wasn't like the school fights. This was faster, harder, realer. The older guy staggered. He wasn't used to being hit. He swung again, angrier now. The new kid weaved, blocked, countered. Every move was crisp, efficient. Then, mistake. The older guy grabbed him in a bear hug, lifting him off the ground. The crowd roared. The new kid's ribs screamed in pain as the grip tightened. For the first time, he looked hurt. Then, snap. His elbow shot back, striking a pressure point. The older guy gasped, his arms loosening just enough. The new kid twisted free and swept his legs out. Thud. The older guy hit the pavement hard. Before he could rise, the new kid was on him, arm locked around his throat in a controlled chokehold. Tap out, he said quietly. The older guy struggled. Then, tap tap tap. Silence. The new kid stood, breathing hard but unharmed. The older guy stayed on the ground, humiliated. The bullies? They looked terrified. That night, Coach Rios called. Heard about your little exhibition. The new kid winced. Yeah. Tournaments next month. You're in. No asking. Just stating. The new kid hesitated. Then, okay. The air in the school changed after the parking lot fight. Before, the new kid had been invisible, just another face in the crowd. Then, after the first hallway incident, he became a rumor. Now he was something else entirely. Kids who had never spoken to him before nodded in respect as he passed. A few even mumbled, "Hey man," like they'd known him for years. The bullies? They vanished whenever he turned a corner. Even the teachers looked at him differently, not with suspicion, but something closer to wary curiosity. The gym teacher pulled him aside again after class. You know that guy you fought? He's got friends. The new kid shrugged. So do I. The teacher raised an eyebrow. Since when? Since I started training at Eastside. That shut him up. Training at the gym was different from anything he'd done before. His father had taught him discipline, control, the philosophy behind the movements. Coach Rios didn't care about philosophy. Faster. Hit harder. You think a tournament judge cares if your stance is pretty? The new kid's muscles ached every night. His knuckles split and healed again. But for the first time in his life, he felt like he was good at something. Not just good, meant for it. Then, one afternoon, Rios tossed him a flyer. Regional Youth Combat Championships. 4 weeks. You're competing, Rios said. The new kid stared at the flyer. I've never done anything like this. You fight better than half the guys who've been training for years. Rios leaned in. But tournaments aren't street fights. There's rules. Strategy. You ready to learn? The new kid looked down at his hands, rough, scarred, capable. Yeah, he said. I am. Meanwhile, the bullies weren't done. The ringleader sat in his cousin's basement, listening to the older guy rant. You said he was just some kid. He is just some kid. The cousin slammed his fist on the table. That kid made me look like a joke in front of 50 people. Silence. Then, from the corner of the room, a new voice. I'll handle it. The guy was older, college age, maybe. Lean, with cold eyes and a tattoo peeking from his collar. The cousin stiffened. You? The guy smiled. I know his type. Trained, disciplined, thinks he's untouchable. He cracked his knuckles. I've broken guys like him before. The ringleader swallowed. This wasn't what he wanted. But it was too late to back out now. The new kid didn't see the threat coming. He was walking home from the gym, headphones in, when a car pulled up beside him. The window rolled down. Hey! He turned, just in time to see the fist. The blow knocked him backward, his headphones flying. He barely caught himself before hitting the pavement. His vision swam, but his body reacted before his mind could catch up, rolling to the side just as a kick aimed for his ribs. The guy from the basement stood over him, smirking. Heard you were tough. The new kid spat blood. Who the hell are you? Your worst mistake. Then the guy attacked. This wasn't like the parking lot fight. This guy was trained. Every strike was sharp, calculated. The new kid blocked, countered, but the surprise attack had rattled him. He was on the defensive, and losing ground fast. A knee to his stomach doubled him over. An elbow to his back sent him crashing to his knees. The guy grabbed his hair, yanking his head up. Say uncle. The new kid's vision blurred. Then, tires screeching. A car door slammed. Back off. The guy turned, just as Coach Rios grabbed him by the collar and threw him into the side of the car. You touch him again, Rios growled, and I'll show you what a real fighter looks like. The guy hesitated. Then, with one last glare at the new kid, he took off running. Rios helped the new kid up. You okay? The new kid wiped his mouth. Yeah. Liar. Rios studied his face. You know him? No. Then why'd he jump you? The new kid thought about the bullies, the cousin, the way violence always spiraled. Because I won't stay down. Rios nodded slowly. Tournament's in 3 weeks. You still in? The new kid looked at his shaking hands. Then he clenched them into fists. More than ever. That night, his phone buzzed. Unknown number. You got lucky today. Next time, your coach won't be there to save you. The new kid stared at the message. Then he typed back. Neither will you. He blocked the number. The next morning, the new kid's face told the whole story. A bruise darkened his cheekbone, and his split lip had barely begun to heal. When he walked into school, the whispers started instantly. Who got him? I heard it was some college fighter. No way, he looks like he lost bad. He ignored them all, heading straight for his locker. But halfway there, he stopped. The bullies were waiting. The ringleader smirked, arms crossed. Looks like someone finally put you in your place. The new kid didn't react. Just stared at him, silent. The smirk faltered. The bully opened his mouth, then closed it. Something in the new kid's eyes made him step back. Without a word, the new kid walked past him. For the first time, the bully looked scared. Training that afternoon was brutal. Coach Rios didn't go easy on him. If anything, he pushed harder. You got sloppy, he snapped as the new kid blocked a high kick. That guy caught you off guard because you let him. The new kid gritted his teeth. He ambushed me. And life doesn't give you warning shots. Rios stepped back, wiping sweat from his brow. You want to win this tournament? Start fighting like every second counts. So he did. For hours, he drilled combinations, jabs, hooks, sweeps, until his muscles burned. When Rios finally called it, the new kid collapsed onto the mats, chest heaving. Rios tossed him a water bottle. You're angry. The new kid drank deeply. Yeah. Good. Use it. The texts kept coming. Different numbers each time, all anonymous. How's the face? Bet you're rethinking that tough guy act now. See you soon. The new kid deleted them all. But he started taking different routes home. Then, one afternoon, the gym door swung open. The new kid looked up, and froze. His father stood in the doorway. Coach Rios nodded at him. "Took you long enough." The new kid's stomach dropped. "You called him?" Rios shrugged. "Figured you could use the help." His father stepped forward. Older now, hair graying at the temples, but still carrying himself like a man who knew how to fight. "You look like hell," he said. The new kid swallowed. "I'm fine." His father studied his bruised face. Then, quietly, "No, you're not." Silence. Then his father took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. "Show me what you've got." Sparring with his father was like fighting a ghost. Every move the new kid made, his father had already countered before he even threw it. Every strike was anticipated, every feint seen through. Within minutes, the new kid was panting, frustration boiling over. "I can't beat you," he snapped. His father didn't smile. "That's not the point." "Then what is?" "Control." His father stepped back. "You're fighting angry." "That's good, anger keeps you sharp. But if you let it take over, you lose." The new kid clenched his fists. "They won't stop coming after me." "Then stop giving them a reason to." The words hung in the air. The new kid sat down hard on the mats. For the first time since the ambush, the fire inside him flickered, not gone, but focused. His father sat beside him. "Why are you really doing this?" The new kid hesitated. Then, quietly, "Because I'm tired of losing." His father nodded. "Then stop fighting like you already have." That night, the texts came again. Running out of places to hide. The new kid stared at his phone. Then he typed back. "Meet me at the old warehouse on 5th, tomorrow. 5 p.m. A pause. Then. "You're dumber than I thought. See you there." The new kid put his phone down. He had a plan. The old warehouse on 5th Street had been abandoned for years. Broken windows, graffiti-streaked walls, and the kind of silence that made footsteps echo. The new kid arrived early, scouting the space. No surprises. No tricks. Just him and the empty concrete floor. He took a slow breath, rolling his shoulders. His father's words played in his head, "Stop fighting like you've already lost." Tires screeched outside. The guy from the ambush walked in, flanked by two others. All older, all built like they knew how to throw a punch. The leader, cold eyes, tattoo peeking from his collar, smirked. "You actually showed up. Guess you've got a death wish after all." The new kid didn't move. "We settling this now or what?" The guy laughed, cracking his knuckles. "Oh, we're settling it." Then he charged. The fight wasn't clean. It wasn't fair. It was 3 against 1 in a place where no one could hear them. But the new kid wasn't the same fighter he'd been a week ago. He dodged the first swing, pivoted, and drove his elbow into the ribs of the guy on his left. A grunt of pain, one down, gasping. The second attacker lunged, the new kid hooked a leg behind his knee and yanked. The guy hit the concrete hard. The leader snarled, swinging a wild right hook. The new kid ducked, but not fast enough. The blow grazed his temple, sending sparks across his vision. He staggered, tasting blood. Anger burns. Control wins. He exhaled sharply, reset his stance. The leader came again. This time, the new kid was ready. He sidestepped, trapped the guy's arm, and twisted. A sharp pop, shoulder dislocating. The leader howled, dropping to his knees. The other two were already scrambling up, but the fight had left them. They backed away, dragging their leader with them. The new kid wiped his mouth. Tell your little friends at school to stay the hell away from me. The leader glared, cradling his arm. This isn't over. Yeah, the new kid said. It is. Word got around fast. By Monday, even the teachers were side-eyeing him. The bullies didn't just avoid him, they flinched when he walked by. The whispers were different now. Less, did you hear, and more, don't look at him. He didn't care. The tournament was in a week. Training intensified. His father stayed, working with him every day. No more street fight brawling, this was precision. Timing. Strategy. You're not just fighting to win, his father said as they sparred. You're fighting to prove something. To yourself. The new kid blocked a high kick. What's that? That you're not the kid who gets pushed around anymore. The words hit harder than any punch. Then, the night before the tournament, another text. Not a threat this time. Unknown number, you made your point. We're done. The new kid almost deleted it. Then he paused. Typed, who is this? A long silence. Then. The guy from the warehouse. You fight like a demon, kid. Don't waste it on street scraps. The new kid stared at the screen. Then he put his phone away. Tournament day arrived in a blur. The venue was packed, competitors stretching, coaches barking orders, crowds murmuring. The new kid's stomach churned, but his hands were steady. Rios clapped him on the shoulder. Nervous? Yeah. Good. Means you care. His father handed him his gloves. Remember, control wins. The announcer called his name. Time to fight. The arena lights burned hot overhead as the new kid stepped onto the mats. The crowd was a dull roar in his ears, but all he saw was his opponent across the ring, a stocky guy with a shaved head and a fighter's stance. No bullies here. No cheap shots. Just skill against skill. The ref called them to the center. Respect the rules. Protect yourselves at all times. Fight clean. The buzzer sounded. The stocky guy came in fast, testing with sharp jabs. The new kid kept his guard high, slipping punches by millimeters. A kick aimed at his ribs, he caught it, shoved back, making the guy stumble. The crowd oohed. Rios's voice cut through the noise, stop reacting. You see an opening? Take it. The new kid feinted left, then snapped a right hook to the body. The stocky guy grunted. Before he could counter, the new kid pivoted, sweeping his legs out. Thud. The guy hit the mat hard. The ref counted, he was up at 3, but the damage was done. The new kid had drawn first blood. His opponent adjusted, fighting smarter now. They traded blows, neither gaining ground. Then, mistake. The new kid overextended on a punch. The stocky guy grabbed his arm, twisted, and threw him. The mat rushed up to meet him. The crowd erupted. He rolled just in time to avoid a stomp. Scrambled up, ribs aching. His opponent smirked. Anger burns. Control wins. The new kid exhaled, reset. The stocky guy charged again, but this time, the new kid was ready. He ducked under the swing, drove his shoulder into the guy's gut, and lifted. A textbook suplex. The guy landed flat on his back, the air blasted out of him. The ref dove in. Winner by knockout. The crowd exploded. The new kid barely heard it. One fight down. His next opponent was taller, leaner, with the calm of someone who'd been here before. They circled, studying each other. Then the taller guy struck, lightning fast, a spinning kick aimed at his head. The new kid barely raised his arm in time. The impact rattled his bones. This wasn't like the first fight. This guy was good. They traded blows, neither backing down. A punch slipped through the new kid's guard, his vision flashed white. He tasted blood. Rios's voice, sharp, "You're letting him dictate the fight. Change the rhythm." The new kid wiped his mouth. Then he changed. He stopped countering. Started attacking. Not wild swings, precise, relentless strikes, each one forcing the taller guy backward. A knee to the ribs. An elbow off a clinch. The guy's confidence wavered. The new kid saw it, the split-second doubt in his eyes. He faked a low kick, then launched himself into a flying knee. Impact. The taller guy crumpled. The ref waved it off. Winner advances to the finals. Back in the locker room, his father handed him water. "You're favoring your left leg." The new kid grimaced. He got a lucky shot. Luck doesn't win fights. His father tightened the tape on his wrists. "Final guy's a southpaw. Watched his last match, he leaves his right side open after combinations." The new kid nodded. A knock at the door. Rios stepped in, face unreadable. "You've got a visitor." The guy from the warehouse stood there, his arms still in a sling. Silence. Then the guy tossed something at him. A small medallion on a string. "Wore this in my first finals. For luck." The new kid caught it, stunned. "Why?" The guy shrugged. "Rather see you win than some rich kid who's never been in a real fight." He turned to leave, then paused. "Don't lose." The crowd was deafening now. His opponent, a sleek, polished fighter with a team of coaches, sneered as they touched gloves. "Hope you're ready to lose, street rat." The buzzer blared. The polished fighter came out swinging, all flashy kicks and showboating. The new kid stayed patient. Blocked. Waited. Then he saw it, the opening his father mentioned. After a 3-hit combo, the guy's right side did drop for half a second. The new kid exploded. A body shot to slow him down. A feint to make him flinch. Then. Crack. A perfect hook to the jaw. The guy's eyes rolled back. He hit the mat like a sack of bricks. The ref didn't even bother counting. Winner, and new champion. The crowd lost it. The new kid stood there, breathless, as the medal was placed around his neck. Rios was grinning. His father nodded, pride flashing in his eyes. And for the first time in his life, the new kid didn't feel like the one who had to prove something. He'd already won. The medal around his neck felt heavier than he expected. Standing in the school hallway a week after the tournament, the new kid barely recognized his own life. The whispers had shifted again, no longer fear or gossip, but something closer to respect. Even the teachers gave him small nods in the corridors. The bullies? Nowhere to be seen. At lunch, a freshman with nervous hands approached his table. Hey. I saw your finals match online. That was insane." The new kid glanced up. "Thanks." The kid hesitated, then blurted out, "Do you think, could you maybe teach me some of that stuff? Not to fight, just to not feel scared anymore." The question caught him off guard. He thought about his father's lessons, the years of discipline, the bruises and the breakthroughs. Then he nodded. "Meet me after school. Eastside Combat Club." The kid's face lit up like he'd been handed a secret. Training someone else was strange. The freshman, small for his age, with a habit of flinching, was nothing like him. But when the kid finally landed a clean block after 20 tries, the spark in his eyes was familiar. Rios leaned against the ropes, watching. "You're not half bad at this teaching thing." The new kid shrugged. "Just showing him what I know." Rios smirked. "That's what teaching is." His father left town again 2 days later, but it didn't sting like before. At the bus station, the old man gripped his shoulder. "You've got something now. Don't waste it." The new kid nodded. "I won't." His father hesitated, then did something he hadn't done in years. He pulled him into a quick, rough hug. "Proud of you, kid." Then he was gone. Life settled into a new rhythm. School. Training. Even helping the freshman learn footwork on weekends. Then, one afternoon, his phone buzzed. "Check your locker." No number. No signature. He should have ignored it. But something in his gut told him not to. The locker was rigged. Not with a bomb or anything crazy, just a crude spring mechanism wired to slam a metal bar into his hand when he opened it. A nasty trick. Painful, but not deadly. The new kid stared at it. Then he turned slowly. The ringleader stood at the end of the hall, face pale. I didn't." The new kid walked toward him. The bully stumbled back, hitting the wall. For a long moment, the new kid just looked at him. Then he said, quietly, "You don't have to do this anymore." The bully blinked. "What?" "You keep losing. I keep winning. When's it enough?" The bully's mouth opened. Closed. Something in his face cracked. "They'll call me a coward if I back down now." The new kid almost laughed. "Who cares what they call you? Half those guys don't even look you in the eye anymore." The truth of it hung between them. The bully swallowed hard. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, "I don't know how to stop." The new kid studied him, really studied him. The shaky hands. The hollow look. He wasn't just a bully. He was a kid who'd gotten in too deep. "Come to the gym tomorrow," the new kid said. 4 p.m. "You want to fight?" "We'll fight. But we'll do it right." Then he walked away, leaving the bully staring after him. The next day, the bully showed up. Not with friends. Not with threats. Just himself, wearing borrowed gloves, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Rios raised an eyebrow but said nothing. The freshman watched wide-eyed from the sidelines. The new kid tossed the bully a mouthguard. "Rules are simple. No cheap shots. No running. We go until someone taps or the timer rings." The bully nodded stiffly. They fought. Not like enemies. Not like rivals. Just two kids testing themselves against each other. The bully was stronger than he looked, but sloppy. The new kid let him land a few shots, not enough to hurt, just enough to learn. By the third round, the bully was gasping, sweat pouring down his face. But he didn't quit. When the timer finally buzzed, they both collapsed onto the mats. The bully stared at the ceiling. "I'm never beating you, am I?" The new kid shook his head. "Nope." A pause. Then the bully did something unexpected, he laughed. Damn. Things didn't magically fix overnight. The bully still had his crew. The new kid still preferred silence. But something had shifted. In the halls, they nodded at each other. Not friends. But not enemies either. The freshmen kept training, growing stronger every week. Sometimes other kids would linger at the gym door, watching. Eventually, a few asked to join. Rios called it the damn after-school program. But he didn't stop them. The last text came late one night. "You could have broken me that day. Why didn't you?" The new kid thought for a long time before answering. "Because someone once gave me a choice too." No reply came. But the next morning, the bully walked past him in the cafeteria, and for the first time, there was no glare. No sneer. Just a brief, barely there nod. That was enough. The medal stayed in his drawer most days. He didn't need to wear it. The fights didn't stop entirely. There were still guys who wanted to test him, still nights walking home with his guard up. But now when he fought, it wasn't about fear or anger. It was about knowing he didn't have to. At the end of the year, the freshman, taller now, standing straighter, handed him a crumpled note. "Thanks for not being like them." The new kid tucked it into his pocket. Some wins didn't need a medal.